Hey everyone, and welcome to the Shleeeempcast. I'm a bit behind schedule.
They might.
Milk.
We have a bit. They might.
Milk.
We have a bit.
Trying to work out where best to put this so that I can see. That's not something to be proud of.
I didn't even realise I got it.
Yeah. Bloody thing. There we go. Hey Randy, hey Mushy, hey Caleb. Hopefully you can hear me okay, it's a bit noisy here. It's a really, really funky camera angle, but I think I'm going to be moving around anyway, so. That's my dog chasing his ball around the kitchen. Okay. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to have a little bit of a clean up in there. It's a super low maintenance tank. I don't really do anything with it at all apart from the very occasional water change. Hey! You've got it all. Apart from the... Dude! Please! Apart from a really, really occasional water change. Hi, Iconics Terrace. Thanks for joining. Yeah, very, very occasional water change. But there's been a couple of changes in here lately. So anyone who sort of knows this little tank might be a little bit surprised. So, hey, dude. Yeah, mate. So I tell you what, I'm going to take it off this weird ass tripod arrangement that I've got, and I'm going to try and do this whilst holding the phone in my left hand. Hey Ma, I'm in Ma. Right, because that isn't working. Okay, So this is the little cube tank, which you've seen. This tank's been running over a year now. And actually for up until very, very recently, for about 3 months, because just work, hassles, a very, very busy life, I literally did nothing with it. And it just became a bit of a rescue tank. It had some baby white cloud mountain minnows, which I bred and then didn't have a home for them, so they went in there, which actually did a really good job of getting rid of a few parasites in there. There's some worms, just detritus worms, nothing nasty, and some hydra actually, and they ate them. I'm in the northwest, mate. And where are you? So the fish have done a really good job of clearing a load of stuff out. Had quite a lot of snails. I've de-snailed it lately, just literally yoinked them out and lobbed them in my pond, because the fish in the pond, which are big goldfish, really like eating snails. But I keep a few in there, so there's some tiny little bladder snails and what looks like a tiny little ramshorn snail, which is weird because I've never had ramshorns, but these ones with these little curly shells have started appearing. And what you find is that if you got one or two, they do a really, really good job of keeping brown algae at bay, and you're just left with these lovely green walls, which if you know you're shrimping, hi J Randall 81, especially some if you look like Shrimp Mania on YouTube, guys like that who keep the caradinas. These are near caradinas. It's all about getting that green wall on your tank, because shrimps eat biofilm that grows on the algae. Adam, how you doing, bro? Nice to see ya. Yeah, still definitely in the UK iconics. So we have nice green walls. A few little snails keep it all nice and green, and no brown slimy goo on there. Shrimps, and you might have noticed that all the fish have gone. So believe it or not, there were 17 white cloud mountain minnows in here and a tiny baby goldfish. They've all been relocated to the one remaining tank of my shrimp breeding setup, which is upstairs at the moment. It's just got plants in it. I've grown a load of Anubia nana, a load of Java fern. I've got filters just conditioning in there. So I've got a 4-way splitter on an air pump with 4 filters running in the one tank. I've got a load of white cloud mountain minnows and not a lot else. Oh yeah, 1 baby goldfish. But the Anubias are super slow growing. I mean, that's a year's worth of. You can just see actually it's got some new shoots which have started coming out since the other week when I started doing. Oh, cheers for the rose, brother. I started doing regular water changes again. So, just shrimps in there at the moment. The blue diamonds have been a colony which I got going. I bought 6 blue diamonds, and I got them up to several hundred in one little tank, in this little tank actually. And then I started like a 4-tank shrimp breeding setup in my spare room. One of those tanks actually just became a white cloud mountain minnow breeding setup. And I split the blue diamonds in there. I bought a handful of red cherries off a local breeder, which turned out to be really crap quality, and some yellow neons. Interestingly, I say because of time, unfortunately, I haven't been able to devote much time to the shrimp keeping. The blue diamonds did quite well. There were more in there than I started with, which is great. The reds really didn't work very well at all, and the yellows pretty much disappeared. They don't. The yellows just don't seem to be stable. I was speaking to a few other people, the yellow neons with the bright yellow line down the back. They don't seem to be mega stable, so maybe that's something to work on. So what I have is now mostly blues, and they're blue diamonds. They're really the ones that I bred have actually, they're so dark blue now. They're like an inky blue, bordering on black. Obviously, being blue diamond, they're on the same kind of line as chocolates and the black shrimps that you can get as well. So it's a possibility we might go that far with these. I hope not, because I like the blue. But they do seem to be getting darker and darker. And there's some red ones knocking around. I seem to have got a couple of really, really good red shrimps. There's one there, little male, and there's a female knocking around. It's got the racing stripe up the back, which I'm wondering if it's because of maybe some cross breeding with some neon yellows. Hi, Leah Dragon. Hi, Haley. I've got one kind of wild type with a bit of a faded yellow band at the back, which is a bit weird as well, and a few wildies in there. I've just stuck them all in this tank. It's a rescue tank at the moment, I'll be honest with you. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a little bit of a scrape, so we can see in there a little bit more clearly. I'm going to do that first, and it's going to be a little bit wobbly. But let's do this. Get the tools out. Get the tools out one-handed, which is a challenge. I'm going to have to prop this up here. On the Anubia, there we go. Oh, hello, that was a bit local, wasn't it? There goes my tongs. Scrape. I've been asked some super basic aquarium type questions, so I'm going to answer them while I'm doing this as well. Hey Paul, hey Graham, hey Leah Dragon Bob again. So, it's dead easy to scratch a tank when you've got like small substrate. So even sand can really, if you drag it up against a tank, will really scratch it. So when you're using a scraper, go from top to bottom. And that way, look, even there, we're still getting some out. If you go from top to bottom, and that way, you're not going to drag stuff up on the glass. And you can go all the way down to the bottom. Lift it up so you don't pull stuff up, and then back down again. And this is like a soft plastic scraper. I think it's a Kent Marine one actually, from my marine days. And you can see there's a bit of stuff, not a lot. It's just like a dusting of green algae. Dusting of, yeah. It looks almost like smoke when it's coming off. It's weird. But it's because there's not a lot of it. It's not coming off as like a roll of green stuff. It's just, you know. And you can see already the difference. You can see the half of the tank I've done and the half I've not done. I only ever do the front pane on this, because I like to be able to see my shrimpies eating that green off the side. So we do this first. Any jobs that are going to stir up a bit of a mess, do them first. Give it a little bit of time for all the stuff to settle down or to go into the filter. So a couple of questions that I've had over the last few days. First one was, what's happened to the breeding setup? So if any of you know my YouTube channel, which is the same name over on YouTube, it's got some videos on there. It's been running a little while. I've not done anything with it for a long time. I might start on there, I don't know. I set up this breeding setup using tubs, air filters, and a car LED system, which went really well. I've broken it down, basically. The remaining shrimp's gone in here, all the fish are in one, the plants are in one. I will be starting it back up again. I just need to move and do some sort of rearranging of rooms and stuff. So it's going to happen again. Hey, and you... So that's happening. Second one was about filtration in this tiny little tank. If you can see it at the back there is a tiny little sponge filter, and I mean tiny. Hey, Dot. And it's powered by one of the little Hugger, these little round air pumps that clip on the back there, which gives just about enough to give you a couple of bubbles every second out there. It doesn't really give any massive amount of flow. Hello, user 705 875 Hey, Dipco369. Hey, Kusa. So, not a load of flow. I watched a really good video actually on Keeping Fish Simple the other day, and he was doing a fish room tour with a guy who had these filterless tanks. It was a filterless fish room, and he had shrimp tanks, and they had deep substrates, so he was going for natural filtration. And hey, Mohandis. Hey, dude. Hey, Mina. So it was really cool because he had super clean water, and there was like no movement in the water at all. And the fish looked, the shrimps and the fish actually, but the shrimps and the shrimp tanks looked really happy. And that's something I think I'd like to explore. I like the aesthetic of bare bottom tanks, and I would have done this one bare bottom, but I saw a tank on YouTube that I really liked, and I kind of copied the style with the tipped over flower pot, and I needed some substrate to make it work. This is probably as close as you can get to a bare bottom tank. It's got, a couple of mil of substrate in the bottom. There's not enough depth there for any kind of biological filtration or anything to go on. Rather annoyingly, it's just about enough substrate to actually hold a bit of detritus. So yeah, there is a bit of mulm built up at the sides, which I hoover out occasionally. You can see that kind of weird dusty looking stuff in the middle there. That's from the spirulina tablets that the shrimps really enjoy actually every so often. There are a few bloodworms knocking around from yesterday's feed. They are live. I've noticed that these shrimps, the Neocardinas, don't eat them until they've died. And then they kind of grab hold of them and they kind of slurp the insides out of them. It's gross. Oops, what have I done here? So there's one there, he's thinking about it. There's a live one. It's just spooked the shrimp actually. Oh, there's a nice kind of chocolatey coloured one again, which I think is from having blues and reds in the same tank. There's obviously been a bit of breeding. Oh, there you go. No, he's not bothered. So the Neocardinas just don't seem to like. Hey Fernando, hey Joyce, hey Ban, hi Fazaisha, hi Begum. So yeah, they don't like it as much when I've got Caridina, so I had Crystal Reds. They absolutely went wild for the fresh stuff, for the live bloodworm. Really, really liked it. But these Neos especially, like this guy here picking away on this aldacone, they're just not that bothered until the bloodworms actually die. And then this one might find one. They kind of look for the dead ones and then they pick them up and kind of slurp the insides out like an ice pop. It's kind of gross. But yeah, still a few in there, still wiggling around. They're not going to affect the water quality because they're still alive. It's only really once they die that they're going to cause any issues, but by then the shrimps have eaten them anyway, so that's no biggie. So I've scraped, hopefully it's all settled down a little bit now. The next thing I'm going to do is actually siphon out from the side. I'm not going to siphon out around here too much because there are still live bloodworms there. I don't really want to just siphon them back out again. Someone is going to eat them. But there is, hey Chris, hey Fernando, hey Hafsa, hey Jamil. So yeah, we're going to do a little bit of siphoning. I'm pretty confident there aren't any baby shrimps in here at the moment. I've got a buried female knocking around. Hello, flags. If anyone sees any babies, any tiny babies, shout. Hey Ronnie. Hey Chris. Right, I'm pretty confident we haven't got any babies to suck up in here. So what I'm going to do is, if we go around the side here, you can see, I'll move my sponge and things out of the way. There's a bit of mold built up in the back. You see I don't run a lot of substrate at all. It's as close as you can get to a bare bottom tank, but with none of the advantages. So I'm going to suck all that stuff out. And carefully. He says, without sucking any shrimps up. To be honest, the shrimps are pretty good. They tend to stay out of the way. Now, hopefully, that should stay still. And we'll do some hoovering. And I'm going to take maybe a litre of water out, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for a tank of this size. And I'm going to put a litre of conditioned water back in. So, try not to drink shrimp. So I just pull it like that, and you can see all the mulm comes out. I've got my finger over the other end. This is just fish waste. It's not going to be sort of doing anything wonderful in terms of bioactivity or anything like that. It's basically just going to decay and turn into ammonia, which, yeah, okay, it'll cycle out. It's an established tank with plants in. It's not that bad, but I'd rather not have it. I know that some dirty tank fans are probably going, what are you doing? The mulm's great, but I don't like it. One thing you might not be able to see on the camera, but where there's been a catappa leaf in here for a few months, so it's rotted down now. I took it out, it disintegrated, and where that's been, the gravel hasn't got any algae on it. Which is quite funny, but I'm gonna actually just disturb this gravel at the front. I'm just tapping my finger on the end of the siphon just to suck it up and then just give the gravel a chance to push down. I'm not using any fancy cleaner, it's just a length of PVC hose. And you can see it's pulling out a fair amount of the horrible stuff. And just let the more dense substrate drop back. Once you've got baby shrimp in here, I wouldn't dare do this because it's so easy. They're so small, it's really, really easy to slurp them up. I've done that before now, and I spent an afternoon crying and with a pipette trying to take baby shrimps out of a water butt, which is just no way to spend your life, really. I am going to get some of these bits around here as well, actually, because I don't know what the stuff is in the spirulina tablets. It's not spirulina, but it does seem to affect water quality quite a lot. So watch out, guys. Oh, there's a bloodworm going, but that's okay. That's okay. Halfway there. So I'm only sucking up tiny little bits of water and then letting it drop back down. I've got my finger over the end of the tube, over the jug, and it's a kitchen jug. So I know exactly how much I'm sucking out and how much I need to suck out. Oop, bloodworm. Let you go back in, mate. You go in. Oh, it's a dead one as well. Shrimpies are like that. Hey Tick1, hey Ophelia, hey Kizzy, hey Rachel, hey Fernando again. So yeah, nearly done. Oh, look at that, loads of gross stuff. And anyone's thinking, oh my God, they're sucking out all the beneficial bacteria. The bacteria are literally so small, they're not affected by this. You can do this all day. You're not going to lose any harmful bacteria. I do know a person who actually washes their substrate in the sink with detergent for their goldfishes. That is obviously going to be bad news, but this isn't going to harm anyone. Oops. Yeah, you okay? I'm just siphoning out a fish tank without sucking up any shrimps. Whoa. That actually smells a bit funky around the back there, that stuff. That's obviously not been done. Yeah, it's ferret bedding.
Can I talk?
Yeah, I mean...
South Africa have had 2 denied for knock-ons, and they've just got another try. Basically, it's just horrendous for the Welsh. There's no let up. Absolutely none.
Could be worse. I did turn that off so I am talking. Sorry, that's kind of why I had it on pause. It's alright. I'll turn it back on when I'm done. So. There we go. So I think that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'll show you the outcome of that. So just from that little bit of hoovering, we now have that. Now there's a couple of things you can do with that awful murk. Hey Cynthia Zane, hey Paula, hey Tyler. You can actually, if you're so inclined, let it settle out, and then you can culture some. You can sort of culture live fry food out of it if you really, really, really want to. I personally don't. I'm just going to get rid of it. But look at that, just from a little bit of hoovering in this tiny tank, the water level's barely gone down. I've taken out what? Just under 3 pints, or what's that in real money? I've taken out about 1,500 mil, 1.5 litres of water, which out of a 25 litre tank is probably a fair bit, but it's not a lot really. And as you can see there, it's just full of crap. So, user 210381923, hi Farid Khan, hi Fontella Ingram, hey Fernando again. You having some trouble, mate? So there we go. So that's been pulled out of this little tank, and now what I'm going to do is top up. I'm just going to go and get rid of that jug because it's minging. I'm going to prop this up here so you can look out for some fish, some shrimp rather. All that'll settle down. It's not the worst. Hey Cammy. The shrimp are all done one. They don't like the activity. They're actually, that's a lie actually, they're pretty cool. Let's just focus on this guy while I go and empty the jug out. Hey dude. Whoa, come in here. So what I have to top up is, I always have it's a 25 litre tank. I actually have a 10 litre water bottle which I fill up, and because I know I can get several water changes out of it. I used to do 25, but to be honest it's heavy, so I just use the 10. And because I only really, most days I take a cup out and I put a cup in, and that's great. For me that's the best way of doing it for stability. And this is the same temperature. It sits in. It's sat in the same room. I just very, very gently. The water's going to be identical, pretty much parameters wise, to what's already in there. I mean, these guys are pretty robust anyway. They're not fussy like carradinas can be. Just as long as they don't get too much of a temperature or chemistry change. So these get like a tiny water change with the same water pretty much every day. So there we go. Hey Alcaflow. Hey Susan. Hey Paul. Hey Sawa. Hey Roxana. So, and I'm actually going to fill up. I've started filling up a little bit further up to the top now. To about there. Just because it looks nicer. There we go. Hey Andy. So, quick look around my kitchen. So we're all a bit cloudy and everything at the moment. But, hey Cheryl. Shrimpies like it. Oh, there's a bloodworm. There we go. And we're done. There, we've scraped, we've vacuumed, we've done a little bit of a water change, and it's all good. Now, what I'm finding is, since I've started doing the water changes more regularly again, the plants, which had just become... So I've got a Ludwigia, which is a red one, something else, which again was a red variety, another red variety again. So if you look for the video back from when I first set this tank up, which is over a year ago, the plants straight from the fish shop, obviously. Hey Beth, hey William, hey Soa, hey Benny Boy, hey Sophie, hey Damo, hey Aishak, hey Brent. They're all really, really red, and I've noticed lately, in the last sort of few days, I've had loads and loads of new growth, especially on the Ludwigia at the back, and it's all nice and pink again. And likewise, the new growth on that is now pink. The one at the back, I think, has some new growth on it, which is pink as well. Now, I'm not a plants guy, and I know some of you really, really are plants guys. So maybe one of you could tell me, should I trim these back? And if I trim them back, am I going to get loads and loads and loads of new pink growth? Hey, Storm, what up? Hey, Taz659. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Mark Morgan. Hi, user 31679519297. Hey, Rotary. What? Hey, Mark. Hey, Arrow. Hey, Soph. Hey, Sisley. Hey, Nettie. Hey, Mematino. Hey, Billy Joe. Hey, Kieran. Hey, Wonder. Hey, Lol. Hey, Tai Tai. Hey, Staffy Man. So, yeah, so there we are. I mean, the shrimpies are around. They're going to hide them a little bit because they don't like the activity. There they are. What I'm hoping is that the buried female that's in there is a blue one. It's a dark one with dark blue diamond ones, and I'm hoping that it'll be a load more blue diamond shrimplets, which will obviously, you know, help this colony. I am going to start culling, not like literally culling, I'm just going to start pulling out the ones that aren't blue. I've got another tank coming, the same tank, little 25 litre cube like this, which is great for a small, you know, for a little shrimp setup. Hey Robbie, hey Norma, hey Kat, hey Colin, hey Cac, hey WWJD, hey Alan, oh no, Alan Richardson, hey buddy, hey Paul. So yeah, so this is going to be a blue tank, hopefully with some nice red foliage in. Yeah. Hi Ronnie, I'm sorry I don't speak German, mate, but thank you. Hey Sickner Bang, hey Angle, hey Sally, thank you. Hey Kev, hey Ronnie, hey Mika, hey Nana Turana, hey Michelle. So yeah, we got shrimpies. Other questions. So yeah, so the breeding setup will be back in a bit. I keep trying to zoom in and I keep opening my stats instead, which is really annoying. I can't zoom back out, so I'm right all the way back here. I've answered the question about filtration. Someone asked about photoperiod the other day, which actually might be something to do with the plants. And let me move the light back over as well. So photoperiod on this is quite long, actually. The daylights come on at 12:30 and they go off at 10:30. They're on the fullest setting. The nightlight is actually on all the time, or pretty much all the time, and I don't have a blue light or like just a dim white light. I actually have a very, very dark purple light. Where's the shrimp? There's one. I have a very, very dark purple light in this at night time, just because it looks good. I like it. I was quite a fan of Japanese reef tanks back in the early 2000s. You're an pistogramma fan. Very nice. Hey Flowerfish. Hey buddy. I've never had a pistogramma, but never say never. So yeah, I quite like the Japanese reef aesthetic, and they used a lot of, when reefing was all about bright purple lights and sort of the sunbed look, there's this very sort of soft pinky purpley lighting, and I wanted to emulate that, so I have that as my night light in this tank. It's quite long. My light is a Hygge LED light. It's absolutely brilliant. It fits perfectly on the top of this tank, which is not a big tank, and it gives a really good spread of light, and it's been bright enough. I've heard that these plants, as you can see there, there's a new pink growth. I've heard that they need really bright light to be able to achieve this pinkness, so hopefully that's doing right. But yeah, if anyone can tell me, what should I do with these plants? Should I trim them? If so, how on earth do I trim? Oh, there you go, I can zoom out. You know, how do I trim them? Because it's a shame, because everything's sort of growing nice and red now, but like that thing about the Ludwigia at the back is just getting too big. You have 40 tanks. Oh my God, that's amazing, Ronnie. I wouldn't mind though, maybe one day. I'm a little less busy now, which is good. Oh, there you go. They're all coming back out of hiding again now. So yeah, so this is going to be a thriving blue colony once more. I might put some more plants in. I don't know yet. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying it. Photoperiod, filtration, breeding setup. Has anyone got any other questions about like shrimpy breeding? Hey, Claudia. Hey, now worry about. Oh, it's one of the red ones. Oh, it's the little male. So these are like 2 generations in, and they're actually now better quality than the ones I originally bought, but I haven't got many of them, which is quite annoying. So I'm probably going to have to actually get some new red ones and set another red colony going. I'm getting sick of trying to zoom with this while the live's on. The blues are still really good. You see a few wild types knocking around in there. There's a few really nice wild types which have come clearly from breeding with the blue diamonds, and they're like transparent with a like bloodworm. They're fine, they can wriggle away, that's all good. They're like transparent with a blue sparkly back. When I'm doing some culling, I'm going to try and separate those ones out because they look really, really cool. I don't know if that's something that anyone would want. Hey, Nanny Mary, how Claudia? Hey, Liverpool on top. Hey, Nasia. How you doing, guys? So yeah, so there it is. So no fish, just shrimps. Looking a little bit, but there's one of those. What? There's a proper wild type. It's just got like brown stripes on its back there. Let's try and zoom in. He's a lovely looking shrimp though. Oh yeah, he's one of the blue ones. For like a wildie, like a something that's just been sort of thrown off from the other ones breeding. He's a really stunning little shrimp. Really, really like it. Try and get a better view. Oh. Ah, where are you going? Oh, that's better. Stay there, mate. He's great. I really like those ones. 9 epistogramma arts, discus fish and scalar neons. I'm up for crikey, Ronnie. You must spend your entire life doing water changes. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Kirsty. Hennessy. Bit more. There you go. You see they're coming out a little bit now. What I tend to find is after you do a water change quite often, they'll molt if you do a little bit too much in one go. They do need the occasional molt, obviously, because they're growing, and you can force it with a water change. I usually find at least one of them will molt. If a female molts, that means she can breed, and what tends to happen is you'll come down in the morning and the males will be flying around the tank like they're on fire, and that's because the female will release a pheromone which says, hey guys, I'm ready to mate. That is a buried female, I think. Yeah, I think so. Little male having a dig there. Yeah, so I'm hoping I'm going to see some babies or some variety in here. They're probably digging for dead bloodworms. And say I don't really mind that there's a few dead ones lying around, because that's when the shrimps actually eat them. Snail. Which is fine. And the protein, you know, if I feed them on bloodworm for a couple of weeks, like every 2 or 3 days, and on the alternating days I give them a spirulina tablet. I feed them actually, and this is going back in, a little feeding bowl to keep the mess down. It stops all the bits of bloodworm and the spirulina tablets from going into the substrate, and it actually helps keep pollution down, which is really nice. And you can kind of just vacuum out the bowl when the shrimps are done with it. And also it makes all the shrimps go to the same place to feed, which makes a cool viewing. So that's going to be going back in. Once you start really feeding them, they do breed. Oh, there we go. There's a bit of whizzing around going on here. So hopefully, yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot more shrimps. Oh, yeah, that was the other question. Someone said, what is the thing floating around in the top of your tank? It is, and I'm going to come around I'm going to push it this way very, very carefully. I had passengers. That is a clove of garlic. If you get a clove of garlic, hey Noon, hey Salma, hey Avg, hey Liam, hey Truer. If you lob a clove of garlic in your tank and just leave it, 2 things are going to happen. First of all, it's going to sprout and grow. It's going to grow roots and it's going to grow shoots. Hey Vasily, hey Liam. What happens is that as it's growing, it's pulling nitrates out of the water to grow, which is great. And the other thing is garlic has compounds in which are antifungal, antibacterial, generally actually just good for fish tanks. And as the outer layers of it, the paper and all that stuff kind of rot off, it gets a bit of biofilm on it. The shrimps love it. You tend to see shrimps riding around the tank on the garlic, picking away on it all day. It's just beneficial. They really, really like it. If you go to my YouTube channel and have a look for some of the old videos, you'll see the shrimp picking around in some sort of dangly roots. And that's from when I used to actually tape garlic cloves into the corners of the tank so the roots would grow down and they just, they'd be foraging in there. And if you've got a fish tank, I heartily recommend just lob a couple of garlic cloves in. Don't need to do anything special with them. Don't blanch them, do anything like that. You want them to grow. And everyone's happy. Everyone benefits from it, I keep thinking I've got flatworms, but it's actually leaves off duckweed. I had a bit of a duckweed cull, and it's leaves of duckweed stuck to the inside of the tank. I need to scrape those off. So yeah, so that's garlic, and the shrimpies love it. Oh, hello, where are you going? It's good to see the Anubia growing, and I think with all the water changes going on now, I've noticed in the past that more water changes for some reason seem to make Anubia grow and like shoot and root a little bit more, which is really cool. So hopefully we'll see some growth out of that. And that's pretty much it. I'm sure I've bored you enough with this one. So I'm going to bail unless anyone's got any questions. Thank you for joining the Shleeeempcast. And I'm going to let this settle down. I'll post a video later of what it looks like once it's settled. And the shrimp should be out and be a little, oh, hello. Thanks, Ronnie. I could watch these guys for hours. I'm sure, anyone who's got shrimps. Hey, Neva. Hey, Boo-Boo. Boo-Boo. Hey, Real. Hey, Door Next 2. Hey, Lashes. Anyone else has got shrimps, I could just sit here for hours. And I do sit here for hours and pour myself a scotch. And I just sit and watch these dudes doing their thing. They're just so relaxing to watch. They're just happy, contented little animals. They don't seem to have the territorial spats that fish have. That's a lovely orange one. So I had neon yellows in with cherries, and I got a load of wilds. No real neon yellows left, but I've got a couple of these really vivid orange shrimps came out of it. Hey, Buzzer, which I think is really cool. I don't know, I think there's already a variety called Sunkissed, and I'm assuming they're from crossing a neon yellow with a cherry. If anyone knows, if anyone knows better, maybe they could tell me. But can I focus on him? Not really. Oh, that's a bit better. But he's a really, and it is a male as well. Really, really vivid colour. Lovely. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you later. Cheers, guys.